Hello everyone, I'm Ms. Shruti. Welcome you all on behalf of Center for Advanced Studies in Policy Research to the workshop on challenges for MSMEs in India. It's a great pleasure for me to introduce our speaker tonight, Mr. Bhavarlal Chandak. He is a former Director General, SIDBI. He has completed his MA in Economics from Jawaharlal Nehru University. Mr. Chandak also writes on topics such as Indian financial system, trade credit, current economic problems. It is an honor and a privilege for us, sir, to have you with us today. As we have gathered here for the workshop on challenges for MSMEs in India, this is a subject that, despite the importance of MSME sector in the Indian economy, the sector is grappling with several challenges. Our speaker, Mr. Chandak, will talk to us on the same and give us some enlightenment on this topic. Once again, I welcome you all and ask Chandak sir to take over the session.
Good evening. Thank you, Shruti. And Kamal, let me begin with the things that challenges to MSMEs are many, and one of the greatest challenge is the credit availability. And let me take back to the history. Last 70 years since independence, there are number of policy changes in relation to promotion, development, and financing. And there are n number of committees which have been set up to suggest ways so that the credit availability to the SME sector is ensured. Timely and adequate credit availability to SME sector is ensured. And there were other promotional activities going on, like institutional. There were a number of institutional setup have been set up for financing MSME units. And the first of all, there are different levels of financial institutions and banks which have been come up over the last 70 years. One of the first earliest coming of the institution is State Financial Corporation. Like in Maharashtra, it is Maharashtra State Financial Corporation. Similarly, almost all states have financial State Financial Corporation, and the main activities of this corporation was to finance new generation entrepreneurs and existing MSMEs. And then at national level, there were specialized institutions which have come up for dispersing finance or giving credit to SMEs, which include commercial banks and specialized institutions like NSIC and IDBI initially, and that which has come converted into SIDBI later on in 1990. And for development purpose, there are institutions like state industries corporations, state small industries development corporation, which were giving finance to, which were giving marketing support to SME sector. And there are commercial banks which have come up with also specialized SME branches. And secondly, one of the critical role played by SME financing is urban cooperative banks, regional rural banks, and small banks. And here I must say that the urban cooperative banks, which were very active in Maharashtra, Gujarat, and Tamil Nadu, they have played a tremendous role in development and financing of SME sector. So, despite all last 70 years of and RBI's policy of putting the SME financing on priority sector basis and district state plan and monitoring of SME sector from time to time, and always emphasizing SME credit and taking corrective steps like restructuring, providing of equity capital, providing of venture capital. All these things have been attempted during the last 70 years. But what is the challenge? The challenge of availability, timely availability and adequate availability of credit has remained. In fact, it has increased. The challenges have increased in the last 4 or 5 years. And why this has increased, let me tell you that we have one problem. The biggest problem is if 70 years banks were not able to finance the adequately finance the credit availability or credit to SMEs, then there is a fundamental mistake in our thinking that the banks can meet all the credit needs of SMEs. This proposition has created a mistaken understanding. That is why world over, it must be remembered that world over, SMEs bank credit is a limited availability is bank credit is to the MSME. They are the not major financing institution for financing of SMEs. This is a fact, but somehow our academician, RBI and government are concentrating on SMEs, financing of SMEs through bank credit alone. So far, the fourth census of SMEs has indicated that only 5% of SMEs are covered by bank credit. So 95 have remained outside bank credit. And there are International Finance Corporation's reports which says that there is a 70% gap in SME financing. Now, secondly, even now also SME finance, their coverage of SME finance by banks is only 10%. So 90% of the units are outside the bank credit. So there is, after 70 years, if you are not able to reach even more than 10% of SMEs, then there is something fundamentally wrong with our strategy of facilitating bank credit to SMEs. And why this is so? Because the most curious, most crucial aspect of SME financing is trade credit. Trade credit means B2B credit, business to business credit. And that is the critical part of SME financing all over the world. Even for corporate sector also, this is the biggest credit. But unfortunately, this part of credit, this source of credit, has never been mentioned or analyzed by any of us, or RBI or government. So this is the aspect which is more important. Why it is so important? Let me tell you one thing, that trade credit is accounting for 50% or around 70% of the short-term credit requirement of SME. And it is the credit and which is available since ages. And it has lot of advantages. Another example I will tell you is that the rise of business communities like Marwadis in trade and industry throughout India is because of availability of trade credit. And there are so many advantages of trade credit. That is, first of all, it is based on soft information, because bank credit is dependent on hard information, which is not available for a new unit or a growing unit, for a small younger unit, because he will not have the data on finance, data on sales, data on profitability, data on marketing, data on quality of the product. So naturally, banks are feeling reluctant to give credit. Whereas in case of trade credit, soft information is available. The person who is purchasing on credit or selling on to raw material to small scale will know what is his background, what is his locally available information will help in giving credit. So once he gets the credit, he establishes his business. Over the years, it will give a signal that his products are being accepted by the market. Is after the working of 2-3 years, then it will give a signal that it is working, and data will be available on its performance, its quality of the product in the market, and demand and its supply, etc. So naturally, later on, the banks will be coming. If our policy strategy has been wrong in the sense that we have emphasized that banks should initiate or banks should take up the new unit. Now, once the bank takes new unit, they do not have information about the credibility, about the, because they do not have soft information. So naturally, either they will be going by bank, either they will be going by your as collateral basis, or some government sponsored bank guarantee. But however, this, because this is going to be a failure in the sense that they will be not taking, they will be not properly financing the full working capital requirement of SME. So because of risk averseness, they will provide, they will go by lesser amount of credit. So naturally, under financing is a bigger risk than no financing. So under financing takes place, and that kills the SME unit. Once that is the thing, the experience of why state financial corporations have become bankrupt, because they have financed basically 70% of their credit went to SMEs, new units, and that is why the risk was very high, and ultimately they themselves become NPA, and they could not they could not carry on the business could not carry the business without the support from the government. And government has supported, SIDBI has supported, but to an extent it cannot go on supporting for continuous period. So secondly, so this is the reason, and the advantage of trade credit is like this, that it is informal. You do not have to sign every time formal loan agreement. Second thing is that it is available in the form of raw material. So it cannot be diverted. Like bank credit, if it is available in cash or money, it can be diverted. Third thing is that it is available to units depending upon the future prospect of its business. Whereas bank credit is dependent on the past performance, because whatever your performance for last year and your sales, accordingly they will give some projection, but they will be not seeing the prospect of the unit. They will not have that much of confidence. So naturally there will be under financing of by bank credit, by under financing of unit, and which will kill the unit. Third thing is that whenever there is a problem, the creditor will try to accommodate it, because he knows that this is a temporary credit, a temporary problem, and he wants to maintain the good relation, business relation. So he will accommodate. But whereas in the case of bank, this relation is one of, not of a trading relation, not of a partnership relation, but it is it is it is basically a credit relation. So if the credit goes back 90 days, from then it will be taken as a NPA, and the banks will not finance the credit. A bank will not take restructuring or additional finance, even if it is possible that with minor credit availability, it will come up. So what I am telling is that trade credit, which is the 90% of the, well, 90% of the units are dependent on trade credit, unless until that is improved, until that action is taken to enhance the credit availability through trade credit, it will, the problem of inadequate credit and timely credit availability of the SMEs will continue rather than aggravate. Now, what happens after, why it is now challenges, why it has become so challenging now? You know, when demonetization can take place, and then thereafter in November, new demonetization took place, and thereafter in July 2017, there was GST was there. So what has happened is that during that time, and most of the trade credit also is informal, or unaccounted money is being transferred, unaccounted credit is given, in the sense that that is not shown in the income tax return or etc. So naturally, when this demonetization took place, unaccounted money become deposited with the bank, and so financing of trade credit was affected. So there was a delays in the payment of SMEs, and so you will find that since 2017 there are extraordinary delays in the payment of trade credit, and there was a decline in the B2B or SME to SME credit business transaction. After that, 2017, when July, GST was implemented, and GST's requirement is that it has to be because it has to be on the online, or it is on one accounted for credit. So naturally, people who were working for trade on the informal credit, they were not able to take the advantage of GST transaction, or they could not sell their products on GST number, GST account. So naturally, these people were affected. But here, what I am telling is that these there I have suggested the ways how to tackle this problem, and that I will deal with after this, when this trade difficulties continued over the period, and in the meantime, when Corona crisis came, what has happened is that already there was a problem of delayed payment and default in the SME to SME sector since 2017 because of demonetization and your GST implementation. So this got aggravated in after the lockdown, which began from April or last week of March onwards. So what has happened? The total almost all B2B transactions came to halt. Payment also came to halt during this lockdown period. And after lockdown also, because of recession, demand problem, there is a problem of dislocation of production, availability of inputs, etc. The production could not increase, or the SMEs could not have that much of production level as they used to have before 2016 or 17. Secondly, what has happened now during this period, the willingness to the credit, once the people become stressed and when there is a problem of uncertainty, problem of credit liquidity crisis, people become more self-oriented, people become safe play, people enter into safe play mode. So naturally, during this period, during now, that is now, willingness to pay willingness to pay back the credit they have received from their supplier and ability to pay both have suffered. Both have, 1 minute. So both have suffered, and now the situation is so precarious that there is a total loss of trust and confidence in trade credit. So whatever now the mostly in this SME to SME business transactions are carried out on the basis of cash. That is why currency circulation in Indian economy for the last 4 months, in the sense from April to July 2020, has increased 7 times compared to the similar period in 2019. Because it has people have started now for selling on cash, because whatever limited, and once you start, or once the credit availability is choked, liquidity is suffered, then the business expansion cannot take place, because purchasing and selling on cash is always reduces your purchasing capacity and selling capacity. So from that angle, today is the SMEs have been exposed and aggravated their conditions of payment, and many of the units are at least 20 to 30% units are still not operating. They are closed down, and it has a contagion effect on others, because the persons who are have given credit to them, they will also suffer. So what is the solution? The solution is lies in that because basically the problem has started because of because of trade credit becoming more dysfunctional, and because of trust deficit increasing, and there is a decline in counterparty uh, confidence. That is counterparty whether they will be able to honor the debt or whether they will be giving the timely payment. So naturally, people are afraid, and so every business is holding back currency or holding back the liquidity because they are not sure about their cash flows. So if they require money, they will be, for production purposes, there will be uncertainty. So naturally, holding of money has gone up, holding of liquidity has gone up, which affects the credit multiplier. And that is why, unless and until that is improved, unless and until credit discipline is brought, credit confidence is brought, the SMEs, SMEs progress or SMEs will be in dire liquidity trap, and it will affect their production, it will affect and then most of it may result in chain reaction, and the problem of insolvency will increase. So what the solutions are there? Since government have done lot of things for the last 70 years, and despite all the SMEs have no resilience capacity or inner strength to withstand any sort of small changes or small crisis. That is what is happening. Every time whenever there is a crisis, government comes with restructuring program or credit guarantee like 2008. Now also they have come up with the emergency credit guarantee scheme, which is near automatic. But unless and until the 90% part of the credit is solved, which is the real culprit in the aggravating the credit culture, credit needs of the credit crisis of the SME. Now it is now who will play the role? Because who will bring the credit discipline in the SME sector? Now it is government actor cannot be expected to do better because government has intervened long for the last 70 years and it has not worked. Its effects, its all policy measures have transient effect. There is no permanent or enduring effect, and it has not worked. So naturally, even before this trade credit, say trade credit is older than bank credit, and it was working well. So they have credit discipline institution in the earlier period, in the a generation before or 10, 15 years before. What was the credit discipline institution? There, it was understanding in the market that somebody has taken A has taken credit from B, and if he goes to credit supplier C, then supplier C will say that he will give you he will sell him only when he has uh, cleared the payment of creditor B. So naturally there was a understanding, and secondly there was religious social stigma attached to uh, credit insolvency or bankruptcy, and people were ethically committed to honor the debt because that was so much of the social pressure was there. Any bankrupt person will have a difficulty in getting married his daughter or son because of that much of social pressure was there. Now the whole social culture has changed, the credit culture has changed. So naturally now it is a nobody bothers who has defaulted or who has insolvency, or it is now become an opportunism. People take credit from the market and declare themselves bankrupt, do not pay the mark and start a new business. Earlier that was not possible. So how to come over these things? The basic thing is that the trade association has to play a key role here because they are moral authority and this one moral authority and organizational reputation will work in disciplining the credit culture in the SME sector or the trade credit sector. That is because what is happening is that This is because it is like a social pressure. The trade credit association can play a social as a work as a social group. If you see how social pressure works, I'm giving you an example. If somebody's parents are expired or some parent or somebody dies in the thing, it is because of social pressure. People have to honor. People have to give. Or people have to. People have to carry some sort of social by giving the priest something or telling or inviting people for some sort of part malab, this one uh, for eating etc. They have to honor the debt. So similarly, if business associations take actions against willful defaulters by by sanctioning against business by sanctioning giving them imposing sanction against their business, and there is a possibility that their reputation will be the defaulting party's reputation will be at a stake uh, when the credit directories or they maintain a register of defaulter and it is shared with the market people, all the people, then their reputation will go down. So keeping that in angle, that reputational and prospect of future business, so many people will try to honor the debt, and when the pressure is there from the trade association, so then it will work. So, however, it is fact that there are large number of associations, and who will take the activity? Who will then there will be a coordination problem. So, what the government should do is like a government like a policeman's work in a traffic jam. Now, traffic jam is started when some car breakdowns or it goes slow, and there will be a lot of jam, and that time nobody obeys the rules and regulation. Everybody wants to try to go ahead, but then everybody will be in jam, and there will be chaos and commotion. Nobody can proceed. Similar is the case in trade credit now. Trade credit this one. This is the exactly position because there is a chaos. Nobody wants to pay the others. Everybody wants to keep himself safe and keep the liquidity. So the market is in chaotic condition. So during that condition, when this policeman comes in the log jam, this one log jam, then he will try to direct somebody some direct, and so then the system can be restored. The traffic jam can be restored. Normal traffic can be restored. Similarly, government has to direct this industry association and give some or give accreditation to some industry association, known industry association, to coordinate the rules and regulations and establish credit discipline. Though it is difficult, otherwise it will be the only solution, because after all bank credit you cannot bank credit also is ultimately transferred from to task credit, because if I bank credit is taken, if I am selling on cash, then my cash and purchasing cash, my requirement of credit will be limited. So if I am giving on credit, then my bank credit requirement will there. So bank credit also is important. Bank credit is also dependent on trade credit. Secondly, once the credit discipline comes, the receivable financing becomes a big business for the bank, and it will be automatic credit supply to SME, because once they sell the product and there is a certainty of receivables payment, timely and full value of the receivables, then bankers will be ready to give discounting, and automatically banks the credit system will be the receivables will be financed by banks, and there will be less and less credit problem for the SMEs. So naturally this receivable financing has to be strengthened by strengthening the receivables realization value in time and with full value. Secondly, government can do one thing. This is one thing I have asked. I have told about GST and demonetization and unaccounted money, unaccounted or informal money. Actually, if you see, this is not a black money because the transactions through which this money is earned by the SMEs is through legal transaction. And why they go for unaccounted transaction or informal transaction? It is because of two reasons. One is that in the same industry, if some people are doing unaccounted transaction through unaccounted the two number about two account accounted money, then their products become cheaper. So naturally, for survival, the others have to follow the same thing. So there they become an industry practice. Secondly, one must understand that though it is a tax evasion, whether the tax evasion money is keeping, whether tax evasion money is kept with the or tax evasion money is with the will become the income of the unit. No, it is not because the competition is so much that the this tax evasion effect is passed on as a price reduction. So naturally, he is not earning today. Most of the SMEs are earning if their total investment in the current at the current value is taken into account, and if labor charges, if their salary is taken into account, their earning on their capital is less than the earning if they have deposited with the fixed, they have kept it fixed deposit with the bank. So naturally, they are not benefiting earning much because of unaccounted transaction or etc. And secondly, these transaction, this some of their income is below income tax. So naturally, they are not taxable. Hardly this business capital, this is a livelihood capital built up over the years. Now, if you take it as a black money and you give, you want to tax it at 50-60%, nobody will pay the 50-60% rate because it is their livelihood capital. They earn their livelihood from this. So naturally, nobody has come to, not many people have come to declare their income and make it accounted money. So naturally, I have suggested because I have suggested the remedy for this is that let it be that the two up to 2 crore amount can be can be converted into accounted money by only GST holder. Those who having a GST account or GST number can be allowed by the government to convert the money into unaccounted to unaccounted money by keeping it in the current account of as a current account of a bank, and that government can levy 5 to 10% penalty charges, and that money can be used as a can be used only for GST transaction. So there will be all the three will be how this is a win-win situation in the sense that here the government will be getting 5-10% extra GST revenue. Secondly, once the this money is converted to accounted money, that money can be used by for GST purpose. So GST transaction will go up. So there will be a GST tax, GST revenue will go up for the government. Third thing is that once the GST transaction goes up, the sales value, sales revenue also goes up for the unit, and that will give a confidence to the bank to finance working capital because on the basis of GST revenue, GST turnover, bank feel comfortable that this fellow is able to give credit. Secondly, banks will be benefited in the sense that 2 crore of per person they are getting deposit without any interest because it is they do not have to pay interest. So this will be a current account. Third thing is the units will be benefiting because they will be converted into formal units. And this is our Prime Minister's speech also. He has written that the SMEs do this tax evasion because of circumstances, because of compulsion, not because of out of their own will. And once the project, once this transaction become formal, there will be no incentive for the other units to go for informal transactions. So all will be the GST's objective of higher revenue, formalization of transaction, and banks' ability to finance receivables will be enhanced, like, and this will be a win-win situation for all. So one has to this item this because the problem is that so far our understanding, academic understanding, and Reserve Bank understanding, policymakers understanding is confined to bank credit alone, which is the biggest mental block, because one has to see the trade credit's role and how to it can be enhanced, how it can be, because worldwide trade credit is the critical factor not only for SME but for even for corporate sector. World over, more than 50% of the transaction B2B transactions are on trade credit basis. And even the banking in the UK, in Great Britain, came to discount the trade credit bills. There the culture has come because of trade credit bills. So the banking system in USA developed on the basis of trade credit bill discounting. Okay, thank you. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Okay, it is over for me.
Okay.
Anything?
So if anyone have questions, they can just put it into the question box. Otherwise, we can just wrap up with the session. Please put into the chat box if you have any questions or if you don't.
Also, if someone is willing to go ahead with the question, they can just unmute themselves and ask the question if they have any to be asked with sir, to discuss with sir if anything is there related to the topic, or else we can you can put the
Good
question in
evening,
the
sir.
chat box.
Good
Good
evening.
evening, sir.
Good evening.
Sir, this is Amit Agrawal from Gurukul Kangadi Vishwavidyalaya.
From?
Gurukul Kangadi Vishwavidyalaya, Haridwar.
Okay.
Sir, I just wanted to know that from where we can have the data of the financing of the banks to the MSMEs.
So that is
From where
available
we can.
with Reserve Bank. Reserve Bank, only 5-10% of the SMEs are covered by this. Is because report of census report. Census report, they cover all the units in India, and it was in 2006 with the 2006-7 base where they have written that where they have collected data from all the units, and they found that both registered and unregistered units have only 5% credit outstanding from banks, because 5% from banks and NBFC. So even now also that figure has not gone up. These data are available from, and even worldwide also there are different studies which says that bank credit meets only 10 to 12, 15%, at best 20% of the credit requirement of the SME. It's a worldwide phenomena, and in India it is higher because of non because of the transparency, lack of transparency on the part of SME, because they do not have transparency, and they do the data or balance sheet figures or financial figures are not believed by many of the banks. So they do not generally go on giving credit on that basis. The bank credit is basically based on either collateral security or guarantee from the CGTMSC. It is not without guarantee, they don't give.
So then what about the new setups? They won't be having any type of fixed assets.
They are not getting much. They are not getting. This is because what happened now. Even the past experience shows the large number of units have become sick. Say, I told you that state financial corporations like URC, the UPSC was there in UP. Now you are in Uttarakhand, no?
Yeah.
You are from actually belong to which place?
From Haridwar, sir. From Haridwar.
Haridwar. There
Uttarakhand.
was earlier UPFC was there. You might have not heard the name Uttar Pradesh Financial Corporation. So there, what has happened is that they have financed around 70% of the new SME units, and they become NPA because SIDBI was refinancing them. So I know that they have not only wiped out their own capital and government bond, and they could not pay our 312 crores, around 350 crores of our fund also. So that has gone bad. So similarly, banks have a very bad image of financing of SMEs in the new units particularly. because they do not have data. Secondly, why the trade credit, why the unit set up by Marwadi community people are successful is because they relationship based credit is there. That is because trade credit is available from their suppliers, etc. They are known persons, so they give credit, so they become successful. Whereas the other local people, they do not get credit, so they are not successful.
Okay. Sir, one last question is there,
Yeah,
sir. If
yeah,
I
yeah.
want to go for further studies, further research on this topic, from where can I have the
Yeah.
data so that I can have the further research on
See,
this topic?
let me tell you, data will be there, but I will tell you, go for experimental, this one, practical solution, that taking the, talking to the people, to SMEs, what are the real problem? Because data will not be speaking out very well. Data is not available also, correct data is not available also. Many of the SME, many of the banks data are not releasing, are not giving the correct information, because banks are
Okay.
under pressure to achieve certain targets, so they can mix
Yeah.
up any target. This is a fact. Everybody knows. Reserve Bank also knows that data are not correct.
Yeah.
So naturally, if you want real study, then
Yeah.
you have to understand the reality, because so far so many studies have been done, so many committees. Like today, they in 2019 UK Sinha committee, then Abid Hussain committee, then Nayak committee. All these people have only related to bank credit, and they have all their recommendations have been implemented. And the result you can see now, the most precarious conditions of the MSME today than any time before. So naturally, these people have not, if a person is under doctor's treatment last 70 years, and it has gone, its health has gone bad, worse, and it is on the um, deathbed. So naturally, the doctors have not diagnosed the proper medicine. So similarly, I am telling that the diagnosis has not been correct, because 90% of the credit which is coming up from the trade credit source has not been analyzed by them. So naturally, whatever is the problem is from that angle. So this problem has to be tackled from there, not from the bank credit side. And that bank credit, whatever these new things are there, these are their transient effect. They will not have a permanent, enduring effect, beneficial effect on the working of SME. Okay.
Thank you, sir. Thanks a
You
lot.
are you are
Thank you,
from
sir.
business community, or you are having business, or what? Your parents.
No, sir. Actually, sir, I am assistant professor there in
Uh,
Gurukul Kangli Vishyadhyalaya, and
but your family background.
this is my research topic, sir.
No, okay. Family background is what? You tell me. Then I will tell you. They are
I am from
having
business.
business.
I am from businessman family, sir. Businessman family.
Then you ask them what is the problem. They will say that bank समझता ही नहीं है. बैंक तो क्रेडिट
बिल्कुल.
को समझता ही नहीं है. हाँ, तो वही तो प्रॉब्लम है. This is because the whole thing is that everybody has not understand the ground reality. You ask them how they have started their business. They have started business not with the bank credit. They have started
Uh,
with bank with the trade credit. When they
yeah,
were
definitely, sir.
fathers or somebody, they started with all the. And second thing is that, because this is a relationship based credit. You know some people, then they will give you credit. Similarly, one of the greatest institution which was working well for SME financing bank credit, it was Urban Cooperative Bank, and it was those like Maharashtra में Pune, and Gujarat, Tamil Nadu, and Karnataka. There, these urban cooperatives were very successful and were having a good networking. So they have financed most of the initial working capital and term financing to the SME. Now, since their health has gone down because of some other reasons, so naturally the banking sector has not done well in financing SME, except this except this urban cooperative bank, which have been somehow gone wrong with them something.
Thank you, sir. Thanks for the justification,
Now
sir. Thank
you
you.
you take the practical aspect, how you talk to some sample companies, sample SMEs, and then really find out, that will give you better result, or better this thing. Otherwise, data churning is not going to give you better result.
Okay, sir.
Hello, hello, sir.
Hello.
Sir, I'm
Hello.
Simran D'Souza here. I am a
Huh?
student.
Yeah.
I'm Simran D'Souza here. I'm a student working with Casper. I had a question
Casper.
about the. Is it true
Casper is
that?
MFI, no?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Sir, I recently did my post graduation MSc Economics.
Yeah.
Sir, I had a question. If is credit that is given to the MSME sector largely that goes through middlemen, the presence of middlemen. So how much do the presence of middlemen actually affect the transfer of credit from organizations to the units?
See, this is you are relating to MFI. Then it is a middleman in the sense that your MFI will come up. As far as trade credit is concerned, it is a direct credit. It is not a middleman. Because once supposing I am manufacturing, say, wheat flour meal is there. So I will be purchasing wheat from the market directly from the supplier. There will be no middleman. Middleman comes only when you are talking of supposing you have middleman. Even MFI mean middleman is not there at all. Right? Of course, middle in the sense that they are getting credit from. You are from cash for, no? Hello.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I
You
work
are
with
from
cash.
cash for. This is MFI, no?
Sorry?
Hello. This is microfinance institution, no cash for.
Yeah.
This is cash for is a microfinance institution, no?
Yes, yes, sir.
So they are getting credit from banks, SIDB, or from outside agencies, and then they pass on to credit to group financing is there. So there is a, like what I have told, that there it is, group is working, like MFI my group is working. So there is a peer pressure. There is a peer pressure to pay back. So that is why MFI recovery is better. So similarly, I told you that in bank credit also, in trade credit also, if there is a pressure from the industry association, like it is a peer group association, so then there will be a credit culture will be improving, and then there will be a credit confidence, credit discipline will be there.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
Anybody from industry? Hello. Hello. Anybody? Any question
Yes,
further?
sir.
Hmm.
I don't think so, sir. Anyone is having any questions? So should
Okay.
we just take it ahead?
So we can close the session.
Yes, sir. Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you,
Thanks.
sir, for your valuable time. Thank you so
Thanks.
much.
Thank you, everyone, for joining
Thank
in.
you, everyone, for joining in.